How should a military officer respond when given an unlawful order? According to Brigadier General Eric Widmar, the top lawyer for the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the answer is quietly request retirement. Not refuse the order, not report it up the chain, not consult with JAG. Just walk away. Here's the problem. That's not what the Uniform Code of Military Justice says. It's not what military doctrine teaches. And frankly, it's advice that protects the wrong people. I'm Dr. Sera Grey, and this is Ethos Trek. First, let's get the facts straight. This story was broken by CNN on December 19, 2025. Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane asked Brigadier General Widmar, a JAG officer, the top military lawyer advising the Joint Chiefs, what the latest guidance was on handling potentially unlawful orders. According to sources familiar with the discussion, Widmar advised that if officers determine an order is illegal, they should, quote, consider requesting retirement, unquote. And they should avoid, quote, resigning in protest, unquote, or, quote, picking a fight to get fired, unquote. In other words, if you are ordered to do something illegal, just quietly leave. Don't make waves. Don't be political. Now, a shout out here to Angry Male Vet, a 23-year combat veteran whose content you can find on TikTok, YouTube, and Substack. He brought this story to my attention in one of his short videos and has been doing excellent work breaking this down from a veteran's perspective. Go check him out. The to his channel will be in the description box below and probably on the end screen. Those of you who listened to the earlier podcast on this channel on unlawful orders know what's coming. Let's review what the Uniform Code of Military Justice actually says. Article 92 of the UCMJ, that's 10 U.S.C. subsection 892, criminalizes failure to obey lawful orders. Key word here, lawful. Article 90 covers willful disobedience of a superior commissioned officer's lawful command. Are we noticing a pattern? The obligation is to obey lawful orders. Unlawful orders get no such protection. Here's what military training and doctrine actually teaches about unlawful orders. First, service members have a duty to disobey unlawful orders. Not a permission, a duty. Following an unlawful order is itself a crime under Article 92. Second, when you believe an order may be unlawful, military doctrine says you should ask for clarification. Seek guidance through your chain of command. Consult with JAG, the military lawyers. Document everything. If you're still convinced the order is unlawful, refuse and request an investigation. Did you hear quietly retire anywhere in that list? Yeah, neither did I. Third, the Nuremberg Principles, which the United States helped establish after World War II, make clear, quote, I was just following orders, unquote, is not a defense for war crimes or crimes against humanity. Dan Maurer, a retired Army lieutenant colonel and former JAG lawyer, put it perfectly when responding to this story. He said Widmar's guidance appears to, quote, misunderstand what a service member is supposed to do in the face of an unlawful order. Disobey it if confident that the order is unlawful, and attempt to persuade the order giver to stop or modify it have failed. And report it through the chain of command, unquote. Marr added, if the guidance does not explicitly advise service members that they have a duty to disobey unlawful orders, the guidance is not a legitimate statement of professional military ethics and the law, unquote. He's exactly right. So, who does this guidance protect? Let's be real about what's happening here. Widmar's advice, retire quietly, don't make waves, doesn't protect service members. It protects the people giving unlawful orders. Think about it. If every officer who recognizes an unlawful order simply retires, what happens? The unlawful order gets carried out anyway, by someone less scrupulous or less informed. There's no paper trail, no formal objection, no investigation, no accountability. And here's something else Maurer pointed out. Retirees remain subject to the UCMJ. They can still be prosecuted for, quote, a broad range of conduct and speech that would be constitutionally protected for regular civilians, unquote. So this advice doesn't just let unlawful orders proceed. It keeps the people who might expose them permanently muzzled. This isn't guidance for the service members. It's silencing mechanism. And let's name the elephant in the room. This guidance came in November as questions swirled about the legality of military strikes on suspected drug boats in the Caribbean and Pacific. Strikes that have killed at least 99 people. Strikes where, according to congressional briefings, the military doesn't even know the identities of everyone aboard before ordering the attack. That's the context in which the chairman of the Joint Chiefs asked for guidance on unlawful orders. And the top military lawyer's answer was, just retire. So, what should happen when someone in the chain of command issues an unlawful order? The person giving the unlawful order is the one who should face consequences, not the person who refuses it. Under the UCMJ, issuing an unlawful order can itself be grounds for disciplinary action. Officers have an obligation not to place subordinates in positions where they must choose between committing crimes and ending their careers. Secretary of Defense Hegseth told generals in September to, quote, do the honorable thing and resign, unquote, if they disagree with his vision. But as legal experts pointed out to CNN, disagreeing with policy is different from recognizing an order as illegal. Policy disagreements? That's political. Officers should generally keep quiet. Unlawful orders? That's legal. Officers have a sworn duty to refuse them. Conflating the two, as Widmar's guidance does, is either incompetent or deliberate. Either way, it's wrong. As always, let's stop and think. 1. Why would a top military lawyer advise officers to quietly retire rather than formally refuse unlawful orders? Whose interest does that serve? 2. If officers with the experience and judgment to recognize unlawful orders simply leave, what happens to the institution's ethical guardrails? 3. The Nuremberg Principles establish that following orders is not a defense. How does advising officers to walk away instead of refuse create accountability for unlawful orders? 4. Retirees remain subject to the UCMJ. How might that ongoing legal exposure affect whether they speak out after leaving? 5. What message does this guidance send to junior officers and enlisted personnel about the real expectations for handling unlawful orders. What can you do? Know your rights. Know the UCMJ. I will create a booklet if there's an interest. Just let me know in the comments. The duty to refuse unlawful orders is real. It's in the code. It's in your training. It's in the Nuremberg Principles. Document everything. Consult JAG. Don't let anyone tell you your only option is to disappear. Veterans, speak out. Angry Male Vet is doing exactly this. Your voice and your credibility matter. Everyone, contact your members of Congress, particularly those on armed services committees. Ask them, are they aware of this guidance from B.G. Widmar? Do they believe this accurately reflects the UCMJ and military doctrine? What oversight are they conducting on how unlawful order guidance is being communicated to the force? Share this story. The more people understand what's happening, the harder it is to hide. Brigadier General Widmar is a JAG officer. He knows what the UCMJ says. He knows what military doctrine teaches. The fact that his guidance omits the duty to disobey unlawful orders, the fact that his answer to "What do I do about an illegal order?" is quietly leave, tells us something. It tells us the problem isn't service members who might refuse unlawful orders. The problem is leadership that wants them gone when they do. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, keep acting. This is Ethos Trek, and I'm Sera. Thank you for listening. If you like this content, please poke that like button. Consider subscribing. It's totally free. Doesn't cost you a thing. Also, check out Angry Male Vet. The @ to his channel is here on the screen and will be in the description box below. He has very well-grounded, non-clickbaity insights from a combat veteran's perspective.